of all, I want to start out by telling you a little bit about myself. My name is Jeanne White-Ginder. As of 2 years ago, I recently married a super guy who used to live around the corner from me. And I have a 21-year-old daughter, Andrea, who is my own daughter, and I have 2 stepchildren who are 15 and 16. And I'm not a professional speaker, by all means. I'm just a mom. I'm a mom just like your mom. And believe me, Ryan was a kid just like you. He would have been 23. Hopefully he would have been a senior in college. And I was very, very proud of him. He was a kid that had to go through life with a few obstacles because he was a classic hemophilia, meaning he had less than 1% clotting. And we knew that from birth, though. But I think that him dealing with his hemophilia, I think it also helped him later on to deal with his disease called AIDS. Our life changed overnight because of this disease. Overnight, our life, because he was diagnosed with AIDS, changed. And it was so, I didn't want to believe it. I just thought everybody was wrong. I thought nobody knew what they were talking about, because the only thing I knew about AIDS at the time was that you died from it. And yes, I had heard the rumors that people who were gay and IV drug users got this disease. But through Ryan's courageous fight, he helped me see a lot. He helped me to grow into the person that I am. If you would have ever told me that I would be standing in front of an audience talking to young people, believe me, I would have said you were crazy. Because in high school, I took 4 Fs because I never gave an oral book report. I was very insecure, and the only thing I ever wanted to be in life is a good mom. My children were so very important to me, and I wanted to have 4 or 5 or 6 even. But when Ryan was diagnosed with hemophilia, I was advised not to have any more. Well, lucky for me, I guess, because I have thyroid trouble. I had trouble with birth control pills and my thyroid medicine, and I got pregnant for Andrea. And it was a very, very good blessing. But because of this, and I worked in a factory for 23 years for General Motors, and because of this disease, I changed. I had to do things that I never thought I could do. But sometimes for your children, you can do a lot of things that you never thought you could do. And because of your love for someone, you can be somebody and change because you have to. It was not something that I wanted to do. It was something that I felt like I knew that people were wrong, and I felt like that they had to be educated. And if you could ask me in high school if I'd ever wanted to be anything, I would have probably told you yes, probably a teacher. The only closeness I got to becoming a teacher was I taught Sunday school at St. Luke's United Methodist Church for 2 to 4-year-olds for 10 years. And I was probably happy with that as far as finally being somewhat called a teacher. But now, since Ryan's died, a lot of people have had a lot of great faith in me. There is not a lot of educators on AIDS speaking out and giving the human side of AIDS. I had to watch my son live, and I also had to watch my son die with this disease. But along the way, we had to face a lot of discrimination. Back in 1984, when Ryan White was first diagnosed with AIDS, he was diagnosed with full-blown AIDS. We had no idea how long he's been HIV positive. Probably at least 2 to 4 years, they tell me. Maybe even longer than that. But because he was diagnosed with full-blown AIDS, we didn't have a period of time where we could be cautious because there wasn't any. I really look back now. I've been stuck several times with Ryan's needles because I used to give him IVs for his hemophilia. And I'm negative. So I know the risk involved in AIDS, but I really didn't know how people would react. I thought people would be understanding and compassionate, but I soon found that wasn't going to be true. Ryan made a statement once. He said, "You know, Mom, they only gave me 3 to 6 months to live." He said, you know, if I could live 5 years, I know there'll be a cure. Ryan lived 5.5 years with AIDS. He's been gone almost 5 this April, and we're still nowhere closer to a cure. AIDS is everybody's problem. The reason being, if you have sex now, you are at risk for this disease. And that is every one of us. That is even including me. I know you like to think that parents don't have sex, but we do. And you like to think that your mom and dad don't have sex, but they do. We like to definitely think that you're not having sex. Some of you are. The bad thing about this disease, another thing, is you can't tell if someone has it. You can't tell by looking. And most of the people that are spreading this disease don't know they have it. That is the problem with this disease.